I'm Chef Don McMillan, and we're going to get started making the best roast chicken you've ever had. Well, today we have a wonderful class that's going to have so many great helpful tips. It's how to cook a perfect roast chicken. Now, you can just see all these wonderful ingredients. You have to like us, of course, and you also have to subscribe because we have so many wonderful recipes to share with you. We also want you to make any comments. Maybe you roasted a chicken before, and this chicken, you had certain experiences. Share them in our comments. I'd like to respond. So when you like us, I certainly want to thank you. Now, I'm Chef Don McMillan, and we're going to get started making the best roast chicken you've ever had. Here's the ingredients that are necessary to make the best roast chicken. We're starting with a whole fryer chicken. Today, the fryer chickens weigh somewhere between 4.5 to 5 pounds. So it's a pretty big chicken. Big enough, I think, to feed at least a family of 4 or 6, okay? I have a variety of fresh herbs that I just got from my herb garden, and we have some thyme, we have some rosemary, some dill, some fresh basil. These aromatics are just gonna boom in your chicken. They'll just give it that much more flavor. They just want you to take another bite. Onions. As you know, I can't cook without onions, so definitely onions gonna go into the recipe. Some fresh garlic. I do need some potatoes. They're going to soak up all this flavor while it's cooking in our clay pot. Now this is something you're going to want to watch as well. I have here this is a pepper. It's not a hot pepper. It looks like a very hot pepper, but it's very mild, very colorful, but it's going to get some great color. Definitely a carrot, another aromatic vegetable that's going to add a lot of flavor. We're going to show you how to truss a chicken as well so it holds its shape. So it's like those magazine covers you see, those food magazines, and the chicken looks absolutely perfect. We're going to duplicate that for you. So stick around because we've got so many tips that you're going to want to learn, and I'm ready. Let's get started. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. First with this aromatic vegetable here, our carrot. I want to peel it. Let me show you a neat way to peel carrots. All peelers have 2 blades because people are right-handed and left-handed and they use the same peeler. I just go back and forth like that. Look how simple I just made this to peel a carrot. It also can peel, obviously, zucchinis and cucumbers the same way. Now, I'm not going to use the peel or either end of the carrot. So let me just cut those off right now and push that aside. And then I'm going to slice these in fairly big pieces, okay? So I want them, I want them to be mouth-sized, so when you bite into it, you don't have to use a knife to cut it, but I do want to make them just about like that. This vegetable is one of the vegetables I'm using to form a bed. So let's go ahead and place it right in our clay cooker. The next item I'm going to use is another aromatic. So with our onion, I'm going to cut off the root, and I'm going to cut off the flower part, and we're going to divide it into 4ths. First of all, I will remove the skin, though I don't want that in my pot as well. Let's remove the onion skin right here, and I just cut it this way and that way, and then just crumble into the bottom. So again, a larger size, and when it cooks, when we take it out of the pot, you'll see that in our presentation as well. So we're forming a wonderful, flavorful bed to roast our chicken on as it's cooking in our clay pot. Okay, now we have here some garlic, and all I'm going to do is just put my knife down on the cutting board and smash the garlic. Just smash it, release some of those wonderful flavors that are inside, and then place that right into our board. Now, I have here some potatoes. Let me just cut off any part that I don't feel I want to cook with. There's a little rough piece there, a little there. But I'm not peeling the potato. This is one of those wonderful Yukon Gold yellow potatoes. And I'm just going to quarter it. Place that into our pot as well. The potatoes, as they're cooking, will pick up so much wonderful flavors. And that's what it's all about, right? Cooking and developing flavors upon flavors. All right, that looks pretty good there. Let's cut our potato. You notice I'm always using a cutting board. You want to do that because that's going to preserve your hands and also preserve your knife, because we're not cutting up on a hard surface. All right, let's arrange all those aromatics and vegetables into the bottom of the pan. Now I'm going to have this bell pepper or red pepper, and I'm just going to cut it. I'm not going to remove the seeds, and again, just in larger slices. This also will give a beautiful color to our food as it's being plated. So there is the bed that we're going to place our chicken on, and as it's roasting, everything is going to be flavored from within. And by the way, cooking in this clay pot, you will find that all the flavors just stay in the pot. You have a moist, tasty, delicious chicken. So that's speaking, let's get to the chicken. Well, here is my whole fryer chicken. Now this whole chicken comes enclosed in like a plastic wrap, a cryovac, and when you open it up, you want to just rinse it off a little bit, but I want to caution you on that. When you rinse off your chicken, be sure you do it in the sink with nothing else around it. Clear off all the different plates and things that you have accessories to the side, because you don't want the water to splash on anything and then could possibly contaminate it. That's called salmonella. So you handle that really easy, and then of course anything that touches the chicken either has to be cooked or washed, in which case your hands would be washed with soap and water, and of course your dishes and cutting board and all of that. Please keep that in mind. That's one thing I have to point out, that salmonella, you know, it'll make you sick. It'll give you a tummy ache that you wouldn't want to have. But that being said, we're going to practice all the safety rules, and we want you to follow them as well. So here's my chicken. I rinsed it off, and now we're going to discover exactly what's inside the chicken. Sometimes these things, they're called giblets. You've heard of that before. So let's see, what do we have in our chicken? Well, we have a neck. Chickens do have necks. And we have a gizzard. That's true too. Let's see. We're having a, liver. And something's missing. Oh, guess what? There's no heart. That's why the chicken died. Oh my goodness. Well, we'll deal with that later. So let's go ahead and place our giblets in a little bowl. You could roast them in the pot, but I would suggest taking them out before the chicken is done. But I also like to fry these, and they make really good tasty bits to eat. Now, the next thing I do, here's my chicken, it's right in front of me, and I'm going to remove any of that fat in there. You could save it and use it for cooking, but we won't do that today. We'll just put this off to the side. Now, I'm going to truss the chicken. I need a good length of kitchen twine. About that long. Let me go ahead and cut that. Place this off to the side. Our chicken wings are tucked underneath. Our legs are positioned just like that. We're going to take our twine, place it underneath the legs, bring it up about equal, and then we're just going to change hands like this. And then we're going to give it a little bit of a pull, and the legs will cross like that. And then what you're going to do is to bring underneath the thighs, on the wing, not under the wings, but over the wings like this. And you're going to change hands again. Look, change the twine hands again, and give it a good pull. See what happens when you give it a good pull? Now, while you still have that in your hand, back, and then here's the tail piece. We're going to go under the tail piece, change hands again, and we're going to form a knot, just like that. And then we're going to go back up and grab one of the legs and make another knot. So this is what it's going to look like from my side. Let's cut off this excess piece of string there. And now our chicken is trussed and ready to go into the pot and be seasoned. Now our chicken is ready to go into the pot, and we're going to complete the seasoning. Right, now let me show you how to do the basil. What you do is you take the basil leaves and you nest them one upon the other, just like this. And then once you've had that, then you're going to roll them. Just roll, roll, roll. And this is called a chiffonade. There's a lot of French terminology in cooking, and that is one of them. And we're just going to go ahead and slice them just like that. So let's get another bunch of leaves together. Now these leaves are going to go in our pot, but also importantly, I'm going to snuggle them into the chicken as well. So turn, 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 like that. Place it on your cutting board and then just go back and slice, 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 slice. One more time. Okay. Twist it. Great. Now, let's go ahead and place some herbs in there, in here, and around. Flavor up, make this chicken so happy. Okay, now, time. You could, if you wanted to, take your time and then just go backwards like this, and the leaves will fall off. But I have also found in cooking that that's a lot of work. So here's what I do. I just take the sprigs and just put them in there. When it cooks, guess what happens? The leaves fall off the stems, and then you just pull the stems out just like you would a bay leaf, okay? So let's get them in there as well. Rosemary is another one. Now you could chop it up if you wanted to. Personally, I like the flavor. I find that rosemary gives the food a lot of flavor, but we can just pull them out just like that too, because they're really a little bit hard to eat in the whole state. But let's stick a couple into the cavity of the chicken. All right, and let's tuck some under the wing and tuck some under this wing, maybe a little bit in this leg here as well. Okay, and then finally we've got some dill. You could chop it up and sprinkle it around. I think we'll get just enough flavor, because this particular dish, cooking with a clay pot, actually encompasses all the flavors stay in the pot as it's cooking. So it's just such a wonderful burst of great flavors. And since we're using fresh herbs, what better way to share flavor? Now, I am going to use salt, pepper, and olive oil. How more basic can that be? So let's get a little bit of salt. And I'm going to rub this in with my hands in just a minute, okay? So just get some salt there in the cavity. We'll put some in there too as well. And some pepper. How basic is that? Salt and pepper. Now I'm going to show you another recipe that I'm going to be using another type of clay pot, and we're going to really kick up some spices and flavors in that. And that is going to be a tangine. In fact, you may see one in the background over here on our stove, because that's our next recipe. So you definitely want to stick around for that. All right, olive oil. I think olive oil is perfect for cooking the chicken. If you've got other types of oils, that would work good. You may even like to use some melted butter. That would work as good as well. Now is when you make the chicken even more happy by giving it a little bit of a massage. Get those herbs in there. Get those spices in there. Get that oil in there. It's going to make it really happy. Now, chicken also has some fat of its own, so you'll see that when we take it out of the pot, there'll be some extra fat from there, and that will just be so good. So let me wash my hands. So this is what our chicken is looking like. Let me just turn it around, and then you can just see the herbs. I'll lift it up a little bit. and it's sitting on a bed of vegetables. They're going to capture so much flavor coming from the chicken. We've got salt, pepper, and wonderful fresh herbs in there and around. So the next thing I want to do is to cover it. And here's the top of our clay cooker. Sometimes it's called a Romatop. You've heard of that before. And it fits on there really nice. Now, some recipes will tell you to soak your clay pot overnight. I don't do it. I've never done it because I learned from a Swiss chef, and she taught me that she had a Romatop, I think she said like 27 years, and she never soaked it. But you always start in a cold oven and then turn your temperature up. So as you turn your temperature up, the clay pot is heating up at the same time the ingredients are heating up. So that may be something you'd like to do. I found that it has worked for me. And this clay pot, I can honestly tell you, the only time it's in water is when we're washing it, but we don't have to soak it overnight. So let's go to a cold oven and we'll turn our temperature to 375. I'm going to check it in about an hour. I'm going to use a meat thermometer. The meat thermometer is going to have to register 165 for me to know it's been done. So that's something that's very important. Sometimes people say, how long does it take to cook? I have found in my career that all ovens are not created equal. So some people's ovens are hotter, colder, some part of the oven is hot or cold. I do know that when I use a meat thermometer, I have it 100% accuracy. So remember that number, 165. You'll hear that over and over again, and that's when I know that chicken is perfectly cooked, and of course, not been overcooked. Sometimes people say cook it to 185, 200 degrees. I think that really makes your chicken dry. Okay, into a cold oven it goes right now. Okay, so now we've had the chicken in the oven for an hour and 45 minutes, and that's from cold to hot, because I put it in a cold oven and then turned it on to 375. I checked it about an hour into it and saw that it didn't need some more cooking, and right now I think it's just about ready to be finished in the oven. But let's go ahead and take a look at it. Take this top off. Remember, it's still very hot. See that steam just coming right out of it? Look at that. Oh, does that look so divine? That is so beautiful. Can't wait to get into that. I'm going to check the temperature though. I've got a meat thermometer, so it's very important that you use a meat thermometer. Stick it into the white part first. And it's coming up. I need it to be around above 150, closer to 160. 160 is the ideal temperature, and I'm getting right now about 153. Okay, let me just check the dark meat over here too. And I'm getting, now that's about 160. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this in the oven uncovered so that the heat can now brown the top of our bird, and then we're going to get ready to eat it. Okay, let's do it. We put the chicken in for about 10 more minutes at the same temperature, 375. You can see from before we get a little more browning effect, which is all about the eye appeal that we're looking at. You can maybe look inside the pan, see all those wonderful juices, the juices that came from the chicken. Inside we also have the vegetables, but first I do want to take the temperature again, so always vigilant to do that. You want to go in the dark meat and you want to go in the white meat as well. Moving up. Remember I said 165, it's already past that now. It's close to 167, 168. Let's try the breast. And when the thermometer keeps going up, you know it's working. I'm just going to try the other side, just to be, and it's done. We're at 170, so we're good. This is it. Our perfectly roast chicken in a clay pot. Look at those vegetables underneath there. Potatoes are ready to go. Carrots, look, we got carrots. All the vegetables are cooked. We've got peppers. We'll throw out those little herb stems. We'll save some of the juices because we want to definitely pour that over our chicken after we slice it. So please subscribe, comment, let us know if you have any experiences you'd like to share on roasting a chicken. Also, please like us, definitely need that. You'll know the recipe is right there in the description. And as always, the dishes that we fix here are simple and delicious.